Once upon a time, not long ago, ladies and gentlemen, this is the day you all been waiting for. I got my man Post Up versus a formidable opponent. Alex, I lost 17 subscribers rocking out with this dude. Everybody hates him. You know what I mean? Everybody hates him. The show, everybody hates Alex. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So today we're gonna have a classic debate. We got same old, you know what I mean, Xbox versus PlayStation. Who has the better console? Who has the better games? You know what I mean? What's like what's the better choice? What's the better purchase if you're a true gamer? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna ask both of you guys about 3 questions. You know what I mean? And give you guys to answer each question, and give the person to rebuttal. Yes, and say to counter what that person says. You know what I mean? Classic debate. You know what I mean? Just all I said, let each other finish their statements so where everybody can hear. Yeah. Oh, that was going on. But yeah, so everyone can hear it. Shout out everybody in the live stream. Shout out everybody in the chat. Shout out everybody that's been supporting the super chat, the donations in the live streams, the Patreon. The Patreon subscribers, we have an exclusive show going up right after this here. We're going to be working, so that'll be up for you tonight. It's a little behind the scenes and us rocking out and just having fun with saying thank you, rocking out. You know what I mean? I'm hitting the like button. So, like I said, you guys will be so hit the everybody. I know it's a lot of shows on right now, but everybody hit the like button. Let's tweet this thing out. We about to get it in. We about to get it. Anybody seen Runaway Dragon? He been in my since the last debate. What's going on with Lemon?
He was on yesterday. He was in the chat yesterday.
He was in that chat yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I didn't see him. He must have been whispering. But anyway, all right.
Before we continue, I want to shout out to everybody in the chat right now. The haters, the ponies out there, the bots. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's on.
It's on. So who would like to go first? Alex or Post Up?
Mind you, I ain't coming to the shit scripted or everything's off the top of the head. So your man might have did some homework.
No. I'm straight out there. I want to say something though before we get started. Shout out to the chat, your boy Post Up with the close up. Mr. Let's Talk About It. It's going to be a great debate. And we're going to talk about some things today. First thing I want to say is though, my opinion is my opinion. I do not speak for the Xbox community because I can't say definitively that everybody in that community will agree with what I say. So my opinion is my opinion. Other than that, let's get it.
Same shit here. Our opinions, just our opinions. Everybody in the chat.
That niggas out there sound like politicians right now, man.
Facts. I mean, he's the Hillary Clinton. I'm the wave. You heard?
We started early, huh?
He got the fake Twitter fake emails and all that.
Look at a little Pikachu over here. It's cool though.
Got you, Hillary. Got you, Hillary.
Little Pikachu over here. Let's do the right thing over here. Let's go.
Listen, man. Like you said, you only gonna get entertainment like that right here. That's what we doing, broadband bullies, man. Hit the like button. So I'm again. So who would like to go first? Don't make it. Who wanna go first?
I'll let the female go first. Go ahead, bro.
You said hoes before bros. No problem. Like,
So what's the question?
All right. We just now how we can either do it just overall or in this generation. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna ask you this question right here. This is your opinion. The Xbox came out when the 6th generation?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to count from the 6th into the 8th. All right. We can't do the 5th because they weren't there. Since the Xbox or Microsoft's inception to the gaming world, the gaming community. In your honest opinion, who has given more to gaming and moving gaming forward?
I would, in regards to moving gaming forward, I would say Microsoft.
Okay, let's hear it.
In regards to giving more, I would have to say Sony, since they've been in it a lot more. Since they've been in it a lot longer.
No. I'm just talking about from the 6th to the 8th.
Okay. I would say Microsoft came in, and from a console perspective, we're gonna negate PC because I know people are gonna say, well, the PC did this and it, but we're talking about from a console perspective. I would have to say Microsoft. When Microsoft came in with the OG Xbox, it revolutionized things in regards to online multiplayer. In regards to power in general, when the first OG you came in, you had the Pentium 733 megahertz. You had a console that was first with 64 megabytes of unified memory, and the first to have a hard drive in a console too, and that revolutionized things in regards to graphics and what developers was able to do with their game. Next year later, you had Xbox Live, which took everybody by storm in regards to playing games online, building a community, playing with your friends, and things like that. Also, you have games like Halo, which laid the format in regards to FPS on console today. When Halo came out, shooters like Call of Duty, and things like that followed that control scheme in that format.
Didn't Budgie Pac-Man or something?
And then you go from there. You have things like Xbox Live Arcade, which kind of laid the roadmap for stores like the App Store, like the Windows stores, the digital stores, all these digital stores that you see today. Xbox Live Arcade kind of laid that road, that format. In that regards, if you look at what Sony's doing now, they kind of follow Microsoft footsteps in that.
They stole the sauce? All right. I'm sorry. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
he passed out. He's talking so shit.
No, I ain't passed out. I'm here. I'm just saying that in regards to moving technology forward, I would have to say Microsoft done, because around that time, if Microsoft went the PS2, right? Let's say the PS2. The PS2 had expansion bays on the back. It had an expansion bay for a hard drive. It had an expansion bay for a broadband connector. Sony wasn't interested in using any of that until the OG Xbox came out. They definitely didn't have belief in the online networking. Given that Microsoft went broadband only, they say, hey, it's not enough people out there with internet. This is going to be a fail. Microsoft proved them wrong, did them numbers. Next E3, Nintendo and Sony jumped on the bandwagon in regards to online connectivity. And so, that's what it is. Microsoft been doing this, man. We've been pushing technology forward. And if Microsoft wouldn't have jumped in with the Xbox, I think the PS2 would have been out a lot longer than what it was. If Microsoft wouldn't have jumped in with the Xbox and then the 360, the PS2 would have been out a lot longer than what it was. They would have kept milking it. It would have been a while since we've seen the PS3. But since Microsoft did come out with the 360, it forced Sony hand to come out with the PS3.
All right.
You done?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, now the same question to you, Alex. In your honest opinion, from the 6th generation on to now, who has done more moving gaming forward? Same question that in your game.
I would like to start off by giving some history.
All right.
You said the FPS genre was big because of Microsoft. It goes back on consoles way before that. If you guys remember GoldenEye for the N64, that was one of the top tier first person shooters that ever made it to the console. So that's off the rip. That's an L for you, because you made it sound like if Halo was the one that started this whole console. Whatever you said earlier, that shit was just bullshit. Anyway, the shit you was talking about, the online's been around pretty much since the Dreamcast era, if you want to take it there. These companies dipped and dabbed into fucking hold on, is that noise in the background? You eating chips?
I was thirsty, nigga. This nigga hungry.
Nigga eating chips.
Thirsty, nigga.
Oh shit. No, you threw me off for a minute. Hold on. Getting back to what you were saying about online, this shit goes back even from on the Dreamcast. Like I said, nobody revolutionized this stuff we just sat here and dipped and dabbed. Yeah, whatever. Microsoft made it cool to have online. For you to say that the PS2 never had it, it was actually already there. I just believe at the time it was just dial-up. It's the only way you could play against other people.
Oh, dial-up?
Yeah, at the time, I believe.
Hey, what? You got mail?
No, it was just like their own dial-up. And then later on, they came out with SOCOM, and SOCOM pretty much revolutionized what online was. But as far as Microsoft, I'll give them that. They did do party chats. They did do the friends list. Sony had that, but it wasn't on the console. You had to have a game to have friends to play with online, which, like I said, with SOCOM, you had your own friends list and clans or whatever it was. But as far as what you're saying, as far as being revolutionary when it comes to online, yeah, I give it to Microsoft. They did take it to another level, but Sony mastered it right now. Sony got everything that the 360 had, and they're killing it right now. They ran with their wave. I'm not even gonna lie. When it came to that point,
if we're gonna do this debate, we're gonna make sure that we're listening to what each other said. I did not, in regards to the FPS genre, I said that in regards to the control scheme. Yes, GoldenEye came prior to Halo. Yes, it did. It had the one little analog stick on that. Yes, it did. I'm talking about in regards to revolutionizing the control schemes for FPSs that you see now today. I said that in that perspective. In regards to Sega Dreamcast, which Microsoft did play a part in Sega Dreamcast online in a operating system. Sega was.
You got facts on that? You got facts on that? No. You got facts. Don't say if you don't have facts.
Would you let me speak? Hold on. Would you let me speak?
I don't want facts.
Initially, Sega was going to go with Microsoft operating system on the console itself, but they later changed their mind. So each Dreamcast disc came with its own operating system, and developers had the choice whether to use their own or use Microsoft operating system. There's only about a few games though out there that was on the market at that time that utilized Microsoft operating system. Even in regards to online, before Microsoft even got into the gaming industry, they not only went to Nintendo, but they went to Sony as well. They told Sony, hey, you make the hardware and we'll do the online. But Sony, you know, they didn't want nothing to do with it.
Sony's in just as well as what you expect.
Just as well as Nintendo. But if you look at what Xbox Live did in an era where broadband was just initially coming in, especially into the home, and it wasn't as prominent as it was back then as it is now. Microsoft kind of helped push that forward in regards to people going out getting broadband internet. I remember Comcast had a deal that if you brought got one of their internet packages, you got a free OG Xbox with it. I mean, that's how popular it became, and now today everybody's online. At a time when Sony and Nintendo, if I remember, said back then that broadband wasn't widespread enough for them to jump in the online pool.
At that time, it wasn't.
It's the same thing people do with the TVs. Oh, 4K ain't widespread enough, but yet people still going out.
Now you take it to a whole nother level. No, we're gonna touch that though.
I'm just using the 4K TVs as an example of what they're doing now. The same thing they was doing back then with the online system as far as its popularity. Hey, it's not popular enough. Not enough people had it. Microsoft jumped in. Years later, Sony came with the broadband and the narrow band, giving you 56K option as well as broadband. And the 56K option on the PS2 was pretty nice. It played pretty smooth to be 56K, but I'm just saying Microsoft set the standard in that. Not only that, they created their own data systems at a time where Sony was leaving it up to the developers to create their own networking system in regards to their game. Microsoft created the whole data network center to control everything from the developers, so the developers only had to focus on the games. You was able to listen to music while you play on the OG Xbox. Oh man, all types of stuff, man. You already know what it is, bro. Take that L. Fuck what you talking about.
I mean, that was cute and all, but like I said, at that time, we already know how gaming was. It was either you and your friends in one household, and that's what it was. Yeah, like I said, Microsoft took it to another level when it came to communicating with your friends. But at that time, can you pull out numbers to even show how many people had Xbox Live on the OG Xbox? It wasn't that widespread. It wasn't that widespread. That's the reason why these developers and Sony and Nintendo did not take it to that level when it came to online. Yeah, no, with the PS3, you know what I'm saying? Sony did do the cheesy online, and they tried to put PlayStation, what was it, that home joint to try to complement whatever the online was, but that shit turned out to be some other
actually, I mean, it wasn't successful at the beginning. It was they were bragging, not bragging, but it was 150,000 like the first month, and that was for the Xbox such a small install base. They were like kind of crazy.
But before its first year, because I was a beta tester for Xbox Live.
But getting back to the question, because this guy I did sidetrack the whole thing, but who pushed gaming forward was Sony, and they pushed gaming forward in a lot of different aspects. From the revolutionary of the controller on the PS1, where they put the DualShock system in there. Yeah, I know the N64 had the Rumble Pack, but Sony just made it better with the DualShock. You don't even acknowledge the Rumble Pack on the N64. So just playing Metal Gear Solid with that Rumble it was amazing. You know, the fact that we had at the time an MP3 player on the PS1, and with the PS2 we had the DVD. That was moving gaming forward because it gave you an all-around entertainment system for your house, if you want to call it that. And at the time, Sony did hold on to that when it came to their games, because they were pushing out their DVD thing when DVDs were what, like $1,000 at the time? $1,000 player would be? I don't even remember, but it was expensive. That was the most cheapest one you could get. Something like that. But they were the cheapest one as far as like pushing everything forward. Sony did their thing. They sat here, they made the games.
So what you're saying is the DVD player?
The DVD players were made this. I mean,
yeah, it was. I mean, but we're talking about gaming. I mean, the media, they pushing the. Well, it was.
I mean, at the time, remember the DVD format was a bigger format in the sense where bigger games could be installed onto a disc instead of MP3 disc. Am I right or wrong?
Instead of a cartridge, more data. At the time. Okay.
But which one was bigger, a DVD or MP3 CD? A DVD?
No, we just well, Nintendo had cartridges back then. It was just Nintendo and
no, I know, but as far as the disc format, they moved that forward as far as the disc format.
Okay, okay. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Okay, I'm just explaining to the audience who just asked the question. You're talking about movies or you're talking about gaming.
But everybody's going crazy about who ripped off who. Listen, all these companies rip off each other's, all on who capitalizes and makes it the shit at the end of the day. Because we can talk about how much bullshit Sony done stole, Xbox done stole. It goes vice versa. But no doubt. Whatever.
All right. Okay. Second question. This generation here. No, so we're going to go to the last generation.
Right.
We're going to go to the 360 era. Okay. Which console had a bigger impact on gaming, the PS3 or the 360?
Bigger impact in what aspect? Like,
and just the culture.
It's kind of unfair though, because like I said, the PS. Stop it, Five. You know you're the bitch in this shit.
Ladies first.
Get out of here, Hillary.
Take your onesie off.
But it's unfair to even use. I mean, whatever. It's unfair. I have to say the 360 in the sense where it had the most popular votes. I'm gonna keep it a bug. It was more popular at the time because Sony done ruined their whole shit when it came to PS3. It's not even fair to even compare the two, to be honest with you. I take that L. Sony didn't pick it up to like the third year in their life cycle.
I mean, this is obviously Microsoft in regards to the 360. You had the Gamer Score. You have the Xbox Live Arcade Marketplace where you was able to download DLC, little arcade games. You was also able to rent movies. You also had Netflix on the 360. That allowed not only that, but they had a feature on there where you was able to get 8 or 16 people in one party chat and watch a Netflix movie. Now they They have since removed that, and they had removed that feature.
I remember that.
That was a feature. You also was able to rent and download movies. It was the first. It was a console that had a streamlined operating system, whether opposed to the OG Xbox. This operating system on 360 was more streamlined because it allowed them to update the OS on the fly. You got party chat that was introduced, which was pretty much from what they took from what Bungie did with Halo 2 on the OG Xbox. They kind of took all the features of Halo 2 online onwise from the OG Xbox and added them to the 360. But it was the 360 was amazing. You had achievements. You was able to see not only able to see your friends online, you was able to see what games they were playing.
Yeah.
You was able to be in a party chat and be playing 2 or 3 different games. You didn't have to be on the same game just to speak with each other. A lot of games have proximity chat where, like, if you're playing the FPS and you get close to the enemy, you can actually hear their conversations and what they was planning. So it was crazy. The 360 ushered in a lot of things, and if you look at what the PS3 did, they ran from that. That's how you got trophies. They are now able to do party chat. I think the PS4 online system is more unified now than it was back then in the PS3 era, where developers really had to, do things on their own.
For all them losses, I mean, that's what birthed PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta be biased when it comes to the 360. I love the 360. The 360 was definitely a dope console until they started talking about the Kinect, and that's when they just shied me away as a customer. I think a lot of people got away from the 360 once they started, because I used to see them E3s where you have a little kid come out and they playing connectables and all that bullshit. A lot of people was like, okay, where's Microsoft going with this bullshit? And that's why I feel like Microsoft kind of lost steam and everybody started shifting towards the PS3 when Sony started pulling out bangers like the Uncharted, the Last of Us, you know what I'm saying? Those type of games. So I would say the first half of that generation, I'll give it to the 360. The last half will have to be the PS3.
Well, the Kinect was probably in this response to the Wii. And Microsoft and Sony kind of did that when they saw them Wii numbers and people going crazy over them Wii chucks and stuff like that. They wanted to kind of cater to that market and try to get some of that market share. Because let's not kid ourselves, the Wii did numbers and Nintendo thing shot off.
They
you know what I'm saying?
They outsold both consoles that generation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so I think in regards to the Kinect, I can agree with you on that. I think. From when it first came out, yeah, it had its appeal, but I think Microsoft spent a little bit too much time on that, especially in some of their press conference as well. But Kinect did do numbers, not only on the console, but on PC as well. People was taking 2 or 3 cameras and programming them on the PC, doing amazing things. So,
Yeah. No, definitely. Like I said, at the beginning life cycle of the Xbox 360, they had bangers. They had the Halo 1, 2, 3, Gears, from 1 to 3, I believe. Left 4 Dead will always have a place in my heart. I remember staying up till like 4 in the morning with my boys trying to beat that shit. Like, that game is still a classic to me. And, later on down the line when I do decide to buy an Xbox,
you gotta smash it, right?
I'm gonna smash one and keep one.
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely buy that game again. Because I know they got the backwards compatibility now, so I'm definitely gonna jump back on that. Like I said, that game has like a nice place in my heart. Games like Uno, late nights with the females. we was
talking about that. We can't really talk about what was going on with the Uno, but it was cracking. But Kinect had its appeal. My kids actually enjoy Kinect. Mm-hmm. They actually enjoy standing in front of the camera and moving things and things like that. Even now to this day with the Kinect now that I got with my Xbox One S, they love the dance games. I don't get in front of the Kinect and do all that, but my children actually play that, and that's what it was for.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, like I said, it was dope for what they were the audience they were trying to appeal to. So when the people were asking for, the first-person shooters and all that, it wasn't possible because of limitation of hardware, of course. Kind of like the same thing that Sony's going through right now with PlayStation VR. Limitation of hardware with give you those lack of, AAA games that you crave for.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the next round of question. You went first last time, Alex.
What?
Whoever went first.
Let the crowd. I mean, they bias as motherfuckers, but let the crowd judge it.
So here's it. This generation, okay. What is exclusive wise? Who has put it out the better exclusives?
This generation. It depends, because like I said, for me, I don't play. Like, I didn't play half of the shit that Sony came out with because they didn't appeal to me as a gamer. I'm gonna keep it a stat. But the score wise, like a lot of the AAA games that did come out, they were scored more higher and better than, well, most of them were higher and better than the Xbox exclusives, I believe. So I would have to go with Sony.
This, in regards to this question, is subjective. It's preference based. Yeah. So you would never really get a right or wrong answer based on your choice, because your choice and your answer will always be based on your preference. In regards, he's a Sony, he deals with Sony, he likes Sony. My preference is pretty more towards the Xbox itself. But I would have to say, single player wise, the better experience is on Sony's platform. Multiplayer wise, the best experiences is on Xbox Live. Even though
you can't really use that though. Sorry for cutting you off, but you can't really use that though, because if anything, this PS4 reminds me of what the 360 was as far as online goes, multiplayer, whatever you want to call it. Like, I haven't had any problems playing online with my friends.
I'm not saying you have a problem playing online. I'm saying, from my perspective, the best place in regards to online content is on Microsoft's side. Exclusive wise, in regards to their exclusives cater more towards online and services more so than Sony's. Even though Gears of War, take a game like Gears of War, right, it has a single player experience. It also has a co-op experience and a multiplayer experience. But that multiplayer experience, don't nobody really even talk about the single player experience of Gears of War 4. It's all about multiplayer. And so that's why I say that. When you get into Sony land, you're talking about those Last of Us and the story play and the storyline.
Nah, but the online was fire on Last of Us though. If you play online for the Last of Us, it was fire. I remember spending like months playing that shit. That shit was hot. That was one of those games where not only the story was dope, but the online was fire as well.
But I'm gonna be honest here. I only own the Xbox right now.
Okay.
I have had PlayStation 2s and systems in the past, but I haven't purchased a PS4. So, and I haven't played the Sony game. The last game I played was Horizon Zero Dawn, but that was about for 15 to 20 minutes.
Right.
So, in regards to Sony gaming wise, I'm on the outside looking in regards to my opinion.
Right.
So we're gonna say that I'm on the outside looking in. I'm not gonna talk about something while not experiencing it and then just pass it off as fact and say it's terrible. No, but from the outside looking in regards to Sony, right, I think their single player experience and their story modes in regards to their games this generation have been amazing. And I think in regards to Xbox, the multiplayer and services side has been amazing as well. That's why I say, in this regard, Sony single player wise, Microsoft multiplayer and services wise.
I mean, Sony has little features like share play that I think pull it above and beyond what Microsoft's doing. The fact that I could just put you in a party chat with me and let you play my game like without you even having it in your house. I think that's a one-up off the bat.
That's a dope feature. That's a dope feature.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a feature I do like.
I wish Microsoft at some point adopt that feature. I know they allow us to share libraries, share each other libraries,
right?
Of games,
But don't you have to have your friend's account for that?
Yeah,
that's personal though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's personal. But like I have. Let me see who I got. No, I ain't sharing my account with no. My guy who I run my studio with.
Right.
He brought an Xbox, didn't have any games. I went over to his house because this is someone that I trust. I put my account on his Xbox,
Right.
He didn't have to go out and purchase any games or anything. He was able to utilize my games right there. That's because I trust him. I'm not just for to go out and do that with anybody, but to be able to do that and share my games, you know what I'm saying, like that is dope. And I'm pretty sure they allow that on the PS4.
Yeah, they do. I used to do it with my boy. You know, like I said, you just have to have his email and password, and
okay, all right,
we have that feature as well.
So basically, what I'm saying, when I say this generation, I mean from 2013 until 2017.
Right.
Sony had Knack, Killzone,
Infamous,
The Last of Us Remastered,
right,
and Bloodborne.
Right.
Horizon Zero Dawn just came out, right?
Right.
And on Microsoft side, you had Rise, Sunset Overdrive, Killer Instinct, Forza Horizon 1, 2, 3, you know, Forza Motorsport, Quantum Break, Recore. Something else just came out. I don't know, but you know what I mean. So
there was more games than that for Sony. Let me try to pull up.
I'm talking about the AAA because I'm not naming Loco Cycle or Brave or you know what I mean. I'm not any of those games like the or Ori and the Blind Forest. Just talking about the meat and the potatoes here, the blockbusters, the red carpet, the Grammys, the Emmys, AAA exclusives.
Right.
So you're saying that thus far, or Sony has released more AAA exclusives, or put out more AAA exclusives this so far. I'm not talking about in 2018 than Microsoft, or you know what I mean.
You had Neo. You had Hold on, I got you right now. Let me pull up that list because I know the list is definitely longer than what you just added now.
Yeah, I'm
AAA. So we talking about games that scored 9 and above, right?
Boys. They ain't talking about the Yakuza's 2.2 that cost $26.
No.
About the big boys.
What's your definition of a AAA game that scores higher than?
I ain't talking about straight the blockbuster, straight the Netflix.
No, we talking about AAAs though. See, you can sit here. Listen, you can sit here and pull out bullshit games. If they ain't scoring 9 or above, I ain't trying to hear about it. That's not a AAA game. If it ain't 9 or above.
What's scoring that subject?
The Order 1886 was a AAA, even though it didn't do well. It had a big budget. You know,
this asshole saying I don't got gaming knowledge, bro. I have more knowledge than your dumbass. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Oh shit! Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? More or less, just from the outside, the perspective, like thus far, you know what I mean? Who has put out the better quality of games?
Sony all day. Quality. So we got shit that you could play in the movie theater. Come on, man. Stop that. You already I mean, know.
Once again, man, quality, man. Is what you consider quality. Because I can look at a 2D fighter and consider that quality to me. In regards to quality titles, whether you like these titles or not, Microsoft has put out. You have your Halo 5s. A lot of people are down on Quantum Break, but Quantum Break was a quality title to me. Sunset Overdrive was a quality title to me. Dead Rising 3, Dead Rising 4, Killer Instinct. These
wasn't Dead Rising a flop? That last one you just had?
We're not talking numbers. Numbers doesn't flop. It doesn't matter because, like I said, quality is a subjective term, brother. I'm talking about what's quality to me. I can't say that what's for you or any other. Ori and the Blind Forest, Forza Horizon 3. These are quality titles that Microsoft has put out to me this year. In regards to Sony themselves, they eyed over there.
We ain't just eyed. We gonna play on this side. That's the reason why we number one right now. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Resogun was another one that caught everybody's attention when it first dropped, and that shit was free when it first dropped. If you want to throw it out there. But,
so that's a quality title to you, huh?
It was dope. You didn't like Resogun? I mean, you never played it though.
So you're saying that
Resogun was dope.
So you're saying that the success that Sony is having now is based off the quality games that it had?
No, their success is basically they got popular again. Everybody that played the PS2 trusted the PS4 to be what the PS2 was. And on top of that, third party helped us out a lot. I can't even front when it comes to that. Third party was a big plus on our success when it came to this generation, but Sony got it on smash when it comes to the games. You know they got better games.
Okay, so all right, so I'm glad that you said that. Okay, and I want both of you guys to, you can give your opinion about whatever, but all right, so the generation 2013, right?
Right.
Did you either you guys watch 2013's E3?
2000. Which one was that when they first announced these consoles? Yeah, I did.
Okay.
DRM and all that.
Yeah, okay. So like I said, something we kind of talked about yesterday in the ending part of the multiplayer podcast, right? From 2000, what match again? What has propelled Sony so far? You know what I mean? Between 2013 to 2017, because these great games that they talk about, I'm talking about the ones that I'm even interested, they don't come out to 2018. Has been, we say, the better version of the multi-plats. Will you agree or disagree? Alex?
Now what would you say? Run that back.
I'm asking you, like in your opinion, you're gonna see where I'm going with this, and both of you guys want you to answer.
Right.
From 2013 to 2017,
Right.
Sony, has had the lead, and again, and I'm just saying it wasn't about their games; it's about them having, quote unquote, the better version of the multi-plats. Would you agree with that or disagree?
It was between that and the promise of games that they did announce at E3 that were coming out at the time frame they said they was gonna come out. A lot of the games you would see that they would talk about, they were either coming out that year, and then you had some parts in that press conference.
We just got Uncharted and Horizon Zero Dawn. Those are two big games for you guys.
Okay, Neo wasn't.
Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is this.
Come on, you gotta get facts though. Come on,
the debate. No. Debate is not between you and Z. It's between you and me, brother. Let's go.
I'm giving you the fucking facts. You ain't talking.
You ain't giving out no facts.
It is facts, bro.
So come on now, bro. This is what I'm saying. Now you have the Pro and you have the Xbox One X. You're taking away Sony's, I guess, ace up their sleeve, which having the better version of the multiplats. Do you expect, or the Xbox One X to curl stomp the shit out the PS4 Pro going forward? What is a better purchase for the gamer? The
PS4
Pro or the Xbox One X?
The PlayStation 4 Pro. What the fuck are you talking about? Because I already know what you're gonna say.
No, I'm not gonna say anything.
It's the graphics. It's the graphics.
I'm not gonna do with this. I'm asking you about this postal thing. I'm asking you, that's from the answer. You know what I mean? So, what's your answer and why?
Have games that are coming out that shit all over whatever Microsoft's even playing. I haven't even heard what the fuck Xbox is coming out with. All I keep saying I talk about is Horizon. Like, there's nothing over there, bro. Like, especially now that you're trying to push out a new console, there's nothing over there for me to say I need that console. Other than just hearing you guys talk about power all day, power. It's like, fuck the power. We're the games. We don't play our consoles to look at them. Oh, this should play 4K gaming, but ain't no games over there. If anything, y'all shitted on me for telling y'all last year when I said what games I was playing. Oh, those are all third-party games. But this year, y'all all gonna be playing the same bullshit I be playing. The Call of Duties.
You know what, man?
The 2Ks.
You know what? I want to interject here because now that the Xbox One X at this point will be the most powerful console in the world, we try to slide this conversation of power to the back now, that it's about the games. But
so it's been about games.
Hold on.
Why would you buy a console without having games? That don't make no sense.
Hold on, I'm gonna get to that too. But in order for a developer to provide you the best games in regards to not only gameplay and graphics, it needs some sort of powerful console. We've seen a powerful console and a console that's easy to develop for. We seen that back in the 360 and PS3 era versus the 360 and the PS3, and how developers cater more to the 360, given it's not only that it's its power, but that it was easy to develop for. In this case, with the Xbox One X not only being more powerful, it is also able to be more easier to develop for. So that's going to give you not only graphically impressive games, but it should also, depending on developers and how much time they spend creating a game, should grant you great gameplay. Now, this notion of Xbox has no games, I don't get it, because I have hundreds of games that I see on my system.
No, we're talking about future. Let's say you started from today. From today on forward, what are you playing over there?
Let me finish. I will get to that. I will get to that. This notion that Xbox doesn't have any games. Okay, I don't understand that. I pull up, I grab my controller, and I have a huge selections of games where they say, we're not just talking about that. When we say it has no games, we're talking about exclusives, where it does have exclusives.
But that's the whole purpose of selling it.
Whether you like those exclusives or not.
Well, what exclusive you talking about? Name five. Give me five. Give me five exclusives that's worth playing on the fucking console.
Hold on. No, I'm talking. Look. Let me tell you something.
Give me five. Give me three. Give me three.
Look, let me finish.
Give me three, bro.
That's whether you like those games or not.
You just trying to make it sound pretty. I'm trying to give you the facts, bro. Give me three.
Whether you like those games or not doesn't justify whether there is a game or there aren't a game. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. Gears of War 4 is an exclusive. Forza Horizon 3 is an exclusive. Ori and the Blind Forest is an exclusive on the Xbox.
We talking about from this day forward to the future. What the fuck is over there? Nothing.
Let me tell you something. Old doesn't exist, because a game that someone has never played before will always be new to them, brother.
Coming from the same people that sat here and said,
hold on, a game that
all the PlayStation 4 Pro games are gonna be fucking updates. Nobody wants to play that shit.
Did you hear that come from my mouth?
This podcast is all together. This podcast all together.
I'm not the whole podcast, brother. This is
part of it. You're part of it.
Look, when you in this debate, if you're gonna address something, you address something that I said, not what other people said.
Nah, I'm saying it all together as your Xbox do, right? So I involve everybody with the bullshit.
No, see, that's your problem. That's your problem. I don't speak
that's
for
what you get.
I don't speak for
you
the
speaking for them right now. Take that L, baby. Y'all ain't got shit over there. That shit looking like a dry land. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man,
that shit look dry over there.
Jesus.
Let me tell you something, bro. And see, and that's another point that I want to make. Just because I prefer Xbox, and every statement that I make doesn't mean the Xbox community is in alignment with me, brother. That's why I made that statement before we started. So if you're going to address something, address me and not the Xbox community, because the Xbox community ain't speaking right now, brother. It's me.
Listen, all I asked you to do for me was name 3 games from this day forward and beyond that you will want to play AAA on that piece of shit ass console. Give me 3.
I just named 3.
What was that? AAA. Not no double A's. AAA.
In regards to now or that's coming?
From now to what's coming.
On the Xbox One X or
on the Xbox One X. I want to give me 3. Right now.
3 AAA.
AAA. Exactly.
Hold on.
Exactly. You gotta take that long to think about it.
Hold on.
Man, wait, hold up. My man, he's drinking some water right now. Give my man to collect his thoughts.
Ain't shit over there. So why the fuck am I gonna pay $500 for some shit that's gonna collect dust?
Let me tell you something.
You done went too far. Listen here, man. We gotta be respectful in this debate. My man post up. He was trying to get his thoughts together. Just give him a chance to answer the question.
They ain't shit over there, man. Listen, that's what's gonna hurt y'all this holiday season when they sit there and ask, "Oh yeah, it's powerful. What the fuck I'm playing over there though? Oh, State of Decay 2. What the fuck is that?" Exactly. Nobody know about it. I'm talking about the average consumer that's gonna go in there and buy your shit day one. The average guy.
Well, I can't speak for the average.
I'm telling you. Hold on. I'm telling you.
I can't speak for the average consumer, all right? But in terms of me and what I like that's coming, you got Crackdown 3.
Not a AAA. Not a AAA. Not a AAA. That's not a AAA. That's not.
Okay, what's not AAA about it?
Everything. The game is not AAA.
What
they just hyping it up. They just hyping it up to be AAA. The game has never been a AAA.
Hold on.
They had to bundle the shit with Halo 3 for it to catch hype. Stop it.
Hold on. Question. What defines a AAA? Is it a budget? How much has been spent on it?
No.
Is it how big the game is? How
the following?
Based on reviews? That comes from another person's opinion of the game. So
see, when you talk about games, listen. When you talk about games like The Last of Us, you think AAA. When you think about games like Crackdown, what the fuck you say? Oh, that shit like a fake ass knockoff of GTA, but with jumping real high and all that bullshit. Nobody care about that bullshit. It's not a AAA game, bro. It's not.
Come on now.
It's not. You want to go back and look at them reviews for the first 2 that came out?
The reviews don't say shit, brother, because them reviews don't look, brother. Them reviews don't.
That's not a AAA game.
Because that Crackdown 1, everybody was on that shit. If you had an Xbox back then and you had Crackdown 1, that shit was
trash.
That shit was fire.
Listen, I bought that shit. Let me tell you something.
Crazy.
I bought the shit. Listen, I bought the shit when I had the 360. I bought that piece of shit for the Halo demo. Once the demo was over, I played that game. I said, "What the fuck is this garbage?" Traded this shit in.
No. See, everybody didn't have your perspective because a lot of people trash Crackdown prior to it coming out. The only reason a lot of people got it was for their Halo beta. But when people played that multiplayer co-op experience, it was fire. And I know a lot of people feel like that.
Trash.
You know what I'm saying? That's why people got disappointed with Crackdown 2. And they're expecting more and better from Crackdown 3.
That whole game
but from my
trash.
perspective, once again, from my perspective, another person might not feel Crackdown as a AAA title.
That shit is trash.
Sea of Thieves, you got Sea of Thieves that's coming out.
That's not even a AAA game.
Have you played Sea of Thieves?
Nobody has.
Have you played? Well,
nobody has.
Well, you can't call it trash then.
So how the fuck? So you can't call it AAA? Exactly.
What you mean?
How you gonna call it AAA if nobody? It's not out. It's not out. You can't consider it AAA. It's not out yet.
So when it comes out, after it comes out, who will determine? So sales numbers and another person's opinions in regards to reviews justifies whether a game is AAA or not.
Listen,
that's what you're saying, brother. You're saying that the game is not Mario.
Listen, Mario AAA, Halo AAA, but they already done burnt the shit out of Halo, so. No, you can't even consider that AAA anymore. They done burnt that shit the fuck out just like Gears. They ain't shit over there. That shit dry land.
Come on, Crackdown, Tacoma, Forza 7, State of Decay 2, Ori 2.
Look at them. Look.
I mean, what is you talking about? You got Players Unknown, which is exclusive now. Now, come on, now what is you talking about?
Now you're trying to use all that garbage to self.
So it's garbage,
right? So now check it. Now I'm gonna give you
this. One man's trash is another man's treasure, bro.
All right.
Just because it's trash to you,
yeah, I know.
30
million people. I know.
So you said Players Unknown is trash.
If you're trying to sell
as far as I know, that game is doing numbers on PC.
If you're trying to sell a console for $500 and you talk about those games, they're gonna laugh at you. Now. If I tell you you could get a console that could play some 4K games too at $400, and these are the games I'm gonna give you,
brother. That's your problem. Nowadays, let me tell you something. Nowadays, it's not just about the exclusives anymore. I mean,
it is about the exclusives. That's what I want to brainwash the community with. You don't need no exclusives.
Listen to what I'm saying. Exclusives play a big role in people purchases. Some more than others, I should say. But it's not just about that. It's about if that system has the exclusives that you want to play. It's about when you want to play your multiplayer games. Does the multiplayer games run better on that system than the other system that you might be thinking about purchasing? What about the online and the services that system provides? Things like bringing your library over and backwards compatibility and things like that. All that plays a role in a person's purchase. At least
first off, with those numbers that you're talking about, as far as backwards compatibility, that shit ain't even popular right now. That's the reason why Sony didn't even take that approach when it came to backwards compatibility. And if you do want to play backwards compatibility, they got PlayStation Now. You can play PlayStation Now. Pay what, $10 a month? I think it is. You can play over 500 games. Come on, man.
Would you call that backwards compatibility?
Oh, and it's rumored that if you have PlayStation, listen.
Would you call that backwards compatibility?
It's optional.
Being charged for the games you already have?
But check this out. There's rumors going around saying that Sony might implement PlayStation Now with your monthly subscription of PlayStation Plus. That's going to be huge.
Well, right now that is a rumor, so I wouldn't. That doesn't hold any salt until it becomes
I'm holding
factual.
it because knowing Sony, they will pull that shit off.
It has that whole. Hey, until Sony says it themselves, I'm taking that with a grain of salt, brother. You know what I'm saying? And in that case, it doesn't affect me because if we want to get into this, y'all, as you say, y'all Sony fanboys and things like that. Even though I don't do this, but I'm gonna do this in your case since you pulled it on me.
Okay.
You Sony fanboys been down playing backwards compatibility since Microsoft announced it. So don't come try to throw that shit in my face now that Sony's trying to do it and now it's all good.
What do you mean? I said that nobody cares about backwards compatibility. I said nobody cares about it. If
then why bring?
Let it happen. Because you brought it up as a weapon. Because you brought it up as a weapon. Oh, no, if you're trying to sell it as a console, you got backwards compatibility.
Weapon. I'm talking about options, brother.
And as an option.
Nowadays, when I'm going to buy a system, I'm not just thinking about exclusives. It's what that whole system provides for me. Not just exclusives, multiplayer, online services, options.
There's nothing wrong with the PSN. There's nothing wrong with the PSN.
We're not dealing with just game consoles anymore. We're dealing with entertainment systems. They provide more than just playing games, even though the initial purpose of buying a console is to play games, but it's other things that come along with that. I'm basing my purchase and my decisions off that, not just exclusives.
And that's what killed the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. Because they wanted to talk about
the Xbox 360
TV.
Killed, bro.
Listen, I'm talking about this is something they were implementing from the 360 to the Xbox One, where they wanted to make this shit TV based. And all that TV talk killed y'all. It killed whoever they were trying to appeal to, the gamer, us, the gamers, the real gamers. It didn't appeal to us because all y'all kept talking about was DRM,
you know
TV, TV, Connect. Come on, dog. Let's keep it a stack. If you want to sit here and talk about features and all that. Online and all that. You don't even own a PS4, bro.
I know I don't own a PS4.
The PS4 online is great.
I don't own a PS4. You don't. You're talking about. Do you own Resogun? Have you played Resogun?
I have it. Yeah. A matter of fact, if y'all think I don't have games, go look at my catalog. Go.
I never said you didn't have games. I'm saying even in regards to the TV thing, that was a bad decision on Microsoft's part, and it backfired. And it backfired on them. That TV message that Microsoft came out with was bad. It was way bad because you came from a 360 era where if you was an Xbox fan and you had an Xbox 360, you had this abundance of games, great games, third party and first party. And from that into the Xbox One and expect a system that was supposed to be more powerful and bring games, and for you to get on stage and say TV, that was a bad decision on their part.
Well, that wasn't Sony's fault. That was Xbox.
No, that wasn't Sony's fault. But Sony fed off their energy, and the bad decisions.
They just had a better message. Period.
And the bad decisions that Microsoft made at this beginning of this generation, Sony used that in a great way to propel the PS4 where it's at. Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason why the PS4 is successful. Don't get me wrong before anybody say that. I'm just saying, though, Microsoft mishaps is one of the reasons why the PS4 is in the position that it's in. I can't agree with that.
It's a lot of reasons. And you know those reasons.
What's the reasons, brother? I mean, let's talk about it. What's the reasons, brother?
We all know that third party played a big part with the 360. Sony took that. They took that. They knew it was going to be big for them. Pricing was a lot, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. Price is the family. Okay. Sony came in
all right. So now my thing is to you, since pricing played a big part, what makes you think 500 is better than 400?
Because let me say this. In regards to the pricing of the Xbox One X, first off, we're going to say this. the Xbox One X is not for everybody. And I don't know why people have this notion.
What?
Hold on. And I'm
man.
saying that the Xbox One X is not for everybody. It's not. You're gonna have gamers out there that's gonna be content. You're gonna have gamers out there that's gonna be content with their PS4 or their Pro, or gonna be content with their Xbox One S's. But you're also gonna have them group of people who's tech enthusiasts, who sits on forums all day and dig through technical specifications, who goes in debates and argue back and forth pixels and 1080p versus 4K and 1440p. You're gonna have that crowd out there that's going to go out there and purchase it. Now, for those who don't want to spend that much money, you have an Xbox One S or a PS4 Slim, if that's what you prefer. But the ones who are tech enthusiasts, who like that power, who want that top of the line feel, who want the best graphics, who want to pay in regards to consoles, not PC, the best graphics in regards to console, who want to have the best multiplayer, multi-platform games on their system, and who enjoys Xbox exclusives. The Xbox One X is.
But ain't no exclusives over there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's nothing over there, dog. You're trying to charge $100 more. Listen, you're trying to charge $100 more for some shit that's gonna checkerboard, just like my PS4.
So,
bro, right?
Not everything is going to checkerboard.
It's going to checkerboard, bro.
Not everything is going to checkerboard. And that's a choice. That's an option.
Killing Floor is going to be... Listen, that Killing Floor, whatever that fucking game is.
Killing Floor. We're talking about an old game was developed under the Unreal.
Did you hear what they said about that game on the Xbox One X?
Yeah, it's 1800p native.
Why?
Native 1800p.
Okay, but why? Why? Did you see why they said that it was going to be that way? Did you hear why?
Wait, frame rate issue.
Okay.
Frame rate issue.
Okay.
But that depends. You got to understand. Some engines scale better than others, brother. Not all game engines scale well, and it depends. We don't know if that game is GPU based or CPU based. And if it's CPU based more so than GPU, then I can understand why they're having frame rate issues, brother. You just can't put. Come on now. The same thing y'all said with Assassin's Creed. When Digital Foundry did that video, checkerboard, this and that comes out. Just recently in the article, they say it has a dynamic resolution. They didn't say nothing about checkerboard, but they say the Xbox One X is so powerful that it doesn't downscale. It maintains at a native 4K resolution.
Got him. You hyping him up for some shit that they trying to sell for $500 is going to fail. Listen, your audience, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, your audience is not the hardcore gamer when it comes to selling consoles. We all know when it comes to selling, when it comes to selling, who buys it more? The casuals who bought the Nintendo Wii, right? Am I right or wrong?
Bro.
Okay. Right?
I don't understand this.
Right?
How can you sit up here and try to shit on the Xbox One X for doing native 1800p and the PS4 Pro has to checkerboard up to 1800p?
But nobody was hyping up. Listen. Nobody was hyping up 4K. Y'all been hyping up 4K for the longest. I haven't been hyping up shit.
Of course.
Listen, while y'all talk about graphics, we talk about games. At the end of the day, there's no debate. If you don't got games, nobody's buying that shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man.
So you saying Microsoft don't have no
games. No games.
Well, what are all these Xbox fans playing then, brother? Because
the same shit y'all been playing since the 360. Halo, Gears. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
How many remasters Sony had this year,
Classics.
It doesn't.
On top of the AAA games.
That makes you playing the same thing from the PS3 era, bro. How you gonna try to dog an Xbox fanboy for the same thing you Sony fanboys doing? Come on, man. What are you doing?
All I know is y'all got a big task in front of y'all this holiday season because you're gonna try to sell something for $500 and they ask you what's the difference between this one and that old shit. Just power. I don't want none of this shit. This shit sounds confusing. Let me go back to the Sony guys. I'm telling you, y'all gonna have a hard time trying to sell it with no games. You ain't got shit this holiday. Forza, not everybody plays races. Not everybody appeals to that genre.
I did not say that.
I'm telling you. I'm not saying you.
Let me tell you something. It comes down to preference, brother. Like, just say the beginning of this generation. just say the beginning of this generation, when the Xbox One and PS4 came, a lot of the Xbox fan base moved over to PS4. You know why? Because it was more powerful and it had the better multi-platform experiences. On top of that, the exclusives it did have, because just because I enjoy and like Xbox doesn't mean that I hate Sony. You know what I'm saying? I do not hate Sony. I grew up off Sony. But I'm just saying, so you saying that can happen at the beginning of this generation, but it can't happen now with the Xbox One X, now that it's going to have the better multi-platform of games? I mean, exclusives is subjective, because some people might like those exclusives on the on Microsoft side. Some people might not. Some people, it's people out there that probably don't like Last of Us. It's people out there that probably don't like Uncharted. This is preference based, brother.
They don't know gaming if they ain't liking those games.
But see, that's your opinion. But that's what makes us so great. That's what makes us so great as human, because we can like what we want to like. And we could choose to spend and buy what we want to choose to spend and buy. I'm not stupid for going out and buy Xbox One X based on the situation Microsoft is in as far as their exclusive. Because I don't think short term. I think long term. Not just what's going to happen in a couple months.
Long term?
Yeah,
bro, y'all don't have nothing long term. What game? Listen, you buy a console to play games. At the end of the day, fuck the hardware. If you don't got games to back up your shit, nobody cares about it, bro.
Bro, look, let me tell you something.
Y'all celebrating because finally y'all get to play the games we've been playing in 1080p, and you got to see it at a better clarity.
Hold on, check
better
this
console.
out.
Finally,
I'm not gonna say all, but some of my OG Xbox, a nice big chunk of my 360 game library is, and my Xbox One library is all coming over to the Xbox One X with me, and that's not including the games that I tend to purchase in the future, brother. That means that I'm buying a system where I already set up. My accessories.
That's fine, but the way you're talking about it, the way you're talking about it is like if y'all just jump to a whole new motherfucking generation of consoles. That's what it sounds like. Like if y'all just bought a whole new console. Admit defeat. Microsoft needs to admit defeat, and they trying to push this Xbox One X as a brand new console. With all the bullshit they got in there, they trying to push at $500.
They're not trying to push it as $500. They always say the Xbox One X.
They want you to believe that. They want you to believe that. They took an L. They took an L, just like Nintendo took an L with that Wii U, and they pulled out the Switch.
Look, let me tell you this. This generation is over in regards to the consoles and the numbers of sales. I give that to Sony. I gave that to Sony a long time ago. If any Xbox fan think that the Xbox One X is going to come out and put a huge dent into Sony sales, then you're crazy. I agree with that. But what we're dealing with now in regards to the Xbox One X is what Phil needed to do, because tirelessly throughout this generation, he has been getting shitted on for the Xbox One look and its size and its lack of power. And he changed the look with the Xbox One S, and he's changing the power with the Xbox One X. It's not so much about a new generation. It's about rebranding and changing the image of the gamer's perspective. You change the image, you change the brand, you get people back on your side. Then you can worry about what you're gonna do next generation or whatever the next console gonna be.
And that doesn't make no sense, though.
Because now people have faith. Now people have faith back in your product.
How long this generation has been going on for now?
Let me see. Well, we're about 3 years in, 4 years in.
How the fuck y'all still ain't got your shit together? If anything, y'all just left the whole generation behind.
We're talking about.
Listen, you're trying to say, I took this fat bitch, made her get some surgery done. Now she look good, but her personality is the same. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No.
It's exactly what you're telling me right now. You said you had a piece of shit system.
We're talking about it. You gotta think in the grand scheme of things. We're talking about a major company, brother.
A company I don't have no clue what they're doing.
We're living in a society where instant gratification, where we want things now, but businesses and corporation does not work like that. Phil had to come in and he had to pretty much fix and clean up everything that Don Matrix did. Even the bad PR statements he made prior to him exiting Microsoft. With the TV thing, with the Xbox looking like a VCR, with it being less powerful, you're not gonna do that in 2 or 3, 4. You're not gonna do that in a year. You're not gonna even do that in 2 years or 3 years. That's a long-term perspective.
So
and you don't hire or put Phil Spencer in power for a short-term view. You put him in power because the long-term view and the long-term outlook and plan that he has to turn things around.
So
and that's not going to happen in a year or 2 or 3. I don't care who you are. It's not going to happen.
Listen, so you know what? Y'all should have just accepted defeat. Let this whole let this whole generation play out and then do your thing on the next generation. This shit he doing right now is confusing the market. Period. This shit is going to end up just like the Wii U.
Okay, so did
the difference between the Wii and the Wii U?
So did the PS4, PS4 Slim, PSVR, and PS4 Pro confuse the market?
It will never confuse the market because a Slim is a Slim. A Slim is just the same iteration, just a smaller. Sony been doing Slims for the longest, bro. What are you talking about?
Bro, you said that Phil is.
We're talking about something that's changing power, bro. You're changing
the PS4 Pro change power. Did it confuse the market?
But Sony's not pushing it like their main console. What are you talking about? Sony's not pushing it like their main console.
So Microsoft is pushing Xbox One X as their
main service. It's been like that since last E3.
When Phil stated that the Xbox One S will sell more than the Xbox One S.
This E3, listen, this E3, how did Microsoft push their Xbox brand this E3 to buy it on the Xbox One X, right or wrong?
Right.
Okay. So where the fuck does the Xbox One S come into play of all this? You're confusing your market, bro.
No.
Yeah.
The Xbox One S come in to play as an affordable console that has a 4K Blu-ray player and upscales to 4K and can do 4K streaming. If you don't have the money or the spending power to afford the Xbox One X, then the Xbox One S is the next best choice. You might not get native 4K gaming, but you're gonna get great games that's upscale to 4K, and you still get access to all those 4K capabilities in regards to movies and streaming. You might not be able to stream in 4K HDR like you would do on the Xbox One X, but not everybody is a streamer. So if you want to come in at an affordable option, Xbox One S is which probably be around $250.
It's already $250,
right? Which is around $250.
And it's
an affordable option,
and nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it.
People are buying the Xbox.
Where?
The numbers probably dropped down since the Xbox One S for the X finna come out, but the Xbox One S.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Now you're trying to lead it off to the Xbox One X is a savior. It's not. That's what you need to get through your head. Listen,
I didn't call it to say.
If the console is $250 right now, go to BestBuy.com. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. If you're trying to make it look like, it's gonna be $250.
Let me tell you something. This is not the church. I don't need a savior, and this is not Iraq. We're not in a war, brother. This is not an actual war, brother. So. In terms of these consoles, we're not in an actual war. It's just the difference of preferences that we have. That's all.
Hold on. How you do this shit? Screen share.
I mean, shit. The Xbox One S may not be doing PS4 numbers. But it's not doing Wii U numbers. It's not saying like 20,000 or 24,000.
Your whole argument is cheaper price, right? You just said it's gonna be $250, right?
It's gonna be, and it might drop. Who's to say? I can't predict the future.
Even more.
I cannot predict the future. Come on now, you got Black Friday coming up. You got
Listen, that shit dry laying over there. If you ask me.
You got what's that? The Monday after Black Friday, which is the
I wouldn't even worry. Listen, I wouldn't even worry about that PS4 no more. You gotta be worried about that Nintendo Switch that's coming for that ass. I'm telling you right now.
Come on.
And it's a weaker console. So you want to keep talking about power? A weaker console is about to trump your ass.
You know what? I can't speak on the Nintendo Switch right now because you got to get that time. I mean, it's doing great right now.
It's going to continue to do great.
It's doing great right now. And some of the games are selling great. I'm not gonna take nothing away from what the Switch is doing right now.
My whole thing is as a casual gamer going into the store Black Friday, why am I going in there and buying the Xbox One S or X? Why should I choose these over the PlayStation platform? Why?
It's preference. I can't.
I'm asking you why. If you work at one of these gaming places, and you're sitting here, you're pushing Microsoft as number one, right, or whatever you want to call it. Why should I buy that console over the other two?
Well, me personally, my preferences doesn't necessarily translate to other people's preferences. But in regards to the Xbox One S, you have a system with great games, multiplayer wise, exclusive.
What games?
You know, all the multi-platform games. Multiplayer games, multi-platform games, and exclusives. Do I got to pull up a list, man, to name games that we already know about?
I can give you a list.
This is a humane show, right? And this, I'm going to the. We're going to do this right here. You guys have been going back and forth about an hour and a half. I'm going to take it to the chat here, and whoever wins gets a $20 point.
You know it's biased. Half these fuckboys in the fucking chat are fucking Xbots. You might as well just give it to. Listen, this whole shit is Xbox style. I'm telling you.
You got some Sony. You got your boy Porter Rock in there. You got MVP in there.
2 people. Wow.
Listen.
There's 152 people in the chat room right now. 150 of them niggas is Xbox niggas.
All right, listen.
I just want us to get away from determining what other people will do and passing that off as fact. You have a opinion of what the market will do or what our casuals do.
It's not opinions.
People's minds change every day, man.
Okay.
Listen, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. What the numbers been saying?
That being said, all right.
What the numbers been saying?
Listen, we got 150 people in here right now, right? Every one of you enjoyed the show, hit the thumbs up, okay? The thumbs up. Appreciate black people.
Nigga's a sleazeball. I swear to God, he's a sleazeball.
If you think Alex won, type P for pony. If you think my man Post up one, text X for Xbox. Right?
Get the fuck out of here. You're going to put beef on everybody. Fuck out of here, nigga.
And we're going to, the winner gets a $20 point card. So let's do right.
You might as well give it to that nigga right now because half these fuckboys is gonna put X. I'm telling you. Listen. I understand you motherfuckers want to believe into the lies. I understand. Y'all want the Xbox to win, but it's over. Xbox doesn't have an identity. They will never have an identity.
What?
When it comes this holiday season, everything I said, I'm gonna be in this motherfucker the day of release. I'm gonna be laughing at y'all motherfuckers.
All right,
bro. We can do a debate on the day of release. What you talking about?
And we're gonna debate about how that shit ain't got no games.
Let's talk about it. You know
what y'all gonna say? Oh man, Call of Duty looks so good. Yeah, it's been looking good for PS3, the PS4 the last 3 years.
Because
welcome to the future.
Once again, people are not just buying the Xbox One X for exclusives. They want to see how the Xbox One games translate over to it. They want to see how well the 360 games are going to look. All the features and the little nuances that Microsoft put in that console in the console. They want to see. They want to test that. Digital Foundry is not going to be the only people on YouTube testing these things out, bro.
Porter Rock, you an idiot, bro.
Hey, listen. Can we get the show here to 100 likes? If you were entertained, like it's just something we're gonna bring back every week, and we like the UFC. But you lose. I'm like Dana White. You lose, you win. You get another pay-per-view following button. Okay, doesn't make a difference.
I mean, listen. We can take it to my channel. I bet you it'll be the other way around because I got a lot of PlayStation guys on my side.
Don't make a difference. You know what I mean?
It does make a difference. You got nothing but fucking Xbox and this bullshit. Fuck out of here.
Numbers don't lie. So
listen, y'all niggas going to sleep trying to
stop wanting to debate. You know what I mean?
That's fine. Listen, give us a little point card. He needs that shit. To buy no games on that. That shit gonna just sit there till the Xbox One X come out, and they still ain't gonna be shit.
if you
bro.
if you enjoyed the show, like I said, we're doing this thing here.
I get money, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, you know, at the end of the day, it's all shits and giggles. You know, we rocking out broadband, but this is what we're doing every week. Like I said, we're gonna have these debates. I gotta find out what time Kid Mega does his show. I don't want to steal my man's time, stuff like that. But every Friday, or maybe I may even move to Saturday, whatever the case may be, we're gonna do these debates. Next week we have the Saltiest Gaming. He's in the comment section right now, and he has a formidable opponent, Jabari. You know, Jabari knows his shit, so I hope my man Saltiest Gaming brings his A game. So next week is going down. Now, see my man 108 Dragon, AK Lemon. He said he wants a piece of Alex's ass. I don't know what he means by that, but pause. 108 Dragon said he wants
108 Dragon. I actually he remembers me. We met at the PlayStation Pro event that they had at the Sony store, eating them tacos. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I want to say shout out to Alex, man, for doing this, man, and coming through, man. At the end of the day, it's all fun and games, man.
Oh, shout out to Post-Up. You already know
I ain't got nothing against him, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about preference. We're gonna argue, we're gonna fight, but at the end of the day, we
but it was fun, it was entertaining. You took the L though, Lil Lucy. Your two names, Lil Lucy.
You know what I mean? The Xbox console. You know what I mean? So it is. Man.
Yo, they call it man Alex.
They say you can't spell Alex without an L.
Oh man,
Alex.
That's fine, people. It's all good.
Listen, man. Shout out to everybody. Listen, sign up with us, man. Check out the Patreon support, the live streams. You know, I mean, come on the show, promote your brand, your channel, get down with Broadband Bullies. I'm building the network. I'm working on it, people. I'm working.
Yo, Z, but what about them numbers yesterday, yo? Can you explain to the people about them numbers? On why you ended that podcast?
Thank you for coming out. God bless you. You know what I mean? That's what you call some alternative facts. You know what I mean? Fake news.
Nigga said fake news.
Fake news.
Oh shit! This guy's stupid, bro.
We out here.